Hi, I'm JWoww and welcome to Planet JWoww. We're here inside the ride of my free course. This is From Gender Roles to Human Relationships, a choreography of power and equality. And let's jump in on this video. I want to talk about a culture of welcome versus a culture of consent. Okay, and this is where the power piece comes in, where the gender stuff comes in, where the behavior that's rewarded stuff comes in, where all of these pieces get pulled together, where the masculinity and femininity stuff all gets pulled together. And we're going to do it in this video. So, a culture of welcome versus a culture of consent. In a culture of consent, rape is possible. Let's just cut to the chase, because someone can say, well, she said I could before she passed out, so she said I could, so I did. And it's a he said, she said, and then there's that. And then there's a shaming and blaming that happens for the woman who was passed out when she got raped. There's that. In a culture of welcome, if it's not an enthusiastic yes, it's a no. That's why in a culture of consent, when they talk about an empowered no being so important, versus in a culture of welcome, an empowered yes is important. Those are very different. It's not just the no yes, and I'm going to come back to that. So keep all of that in mind over here. Penetrative and receptive. Penetrative has a trajectory. It's directed. And it cleaves things. It separates them, and that's just what it does. Receptivity is an embrace. It's an enfolding. We don't usually think, when we think of power, we don't think of the power of the receptive. For a whole bunch of you, when I said that, your brain went, huh? The power of the receptive. Because we think of power, the ability to influence that which is not our isness. We think of power as being a directive, trajectory-oriented force. Power is simply the ability to influence that which is not our isness. Have you ever been influenced by someone who hugged you when you needed it? There's nothing penetrative about that at all. You penetrated them with your pain and they took all of it in. And it was receptive and it was all around you. Right? Help that heal. And there was nothing but power around you. That's the power of the receptive. Anybody who's almost drowned can tell you about the power of being surrounded. Okay? That's real. Any black person in the South in the 40s who accidentally wound up at the wrong rally can tell you about the power of being surrounded. Okay? We don't give that receptivity its due, because in a penetrative culture, as opposed to talking about a patriarchal culture, because patriarchy is still based on whether you've got an innie or an outie. In a penetrative culture, then all things penetrative are good and all things receptive are either secondary or bad. And when you start analyzing everything and our languaging based on that, then we can see the places where the inequality happens, and then we can fix that. There's freedom in getting to the equal place. There's room for exploration. In a culture of welcome, imagine going to a party. Pretty young women, please pay attention. You know that you do stuff. You don't drink unless you got the drink yourself. You have some sort of anti-roofie thing that you take before you go to the party. You walk home with your keys in your hand. You know, that, like all the things that you do because, you know, you're a pretty young woman and you don't want to get raped. And it's just that. Let's just call it that. Let's not pretend that it's something else. All right? Imagine a culture where, unless you enthusiastically say to somebody, please come do me, there is no chance of somebody violating your physical space. Can you even imagine that? Unless there's an enthusiastic and empowered yes. That's a culture of welcome, because welcome is the embrace that says, ooh, I would love to have you come in. And anything other than I would love to have you come in, I would love to receive you. I would love to receive the penetration that you want to bring. And you bring it with honor, and you bring it with request. Imagine a culture that's based on that. That's why this is so important. For those of you with kids, for those of you who are men who've been penetrated when you didn't want to be, for those of you who are people who've been penetrated when you didn't want to be and you become predators because you want to get back at the world for what got done to you. All of this is for all of you. Because when we change this languaging, then what happened to you that never should have happened doesn't happen in another generation. This is real. This is not woo. By changing this languaging, changing these lenses, changing the way that we behave in the world, rewarding that positive behavior that equalizes the power playing field, by doing all of those little things, we wind up with a world where rape stops happening, and it doesn't matter what culture it is. I'm not looking to change anybody's religion. You don't have to change religions in order to stop rape. You don't have to change any of those cultural things that people pick because of their dogma and what have you. These are fundamental human behaviors. And again, behavior that's rewarded persists, behavior that's cherished innovates, behavior that's celebrated evolves. And we get to evolve through this series of little innovations, and a whole bunch of them. When we enter into this new choreography of power and equality, there is so much creativity that gets lost because it gets squelched. We're going to watch a flourishing of technology happen when people aren't afraid to be creative, when they're not shut down and shamed and blamed for being outside the norm. When our artists, when our cis male artists, when our cis straight male artists who love boas and flamboyance don't have to become gay in order for it to be okay for them to love boas and flamboyance. When women and girls who are all the cis and straight, when they get to be whatever they want, all of these things change our legacy for our children. When we stop asking if it's a girl or a boy when it's a baby, who cares? The only reason why you care is so that you can tell the baby if it's crying to stop crying if it's a boy, or it's okay, little girl, it'll get better when it's a girl, so that you start acculturating it. That's the only reason why you want to know if it's a boy or a girl. There's no other reason for you to know whether it's a boy or a girl. There shouldn't be any difference in how you talk to a baby boy and a baby girl, right? All of these little things matter. When I dive into this course, and this is just scratching the surface of this information, when I deep dive into this, when we immerse ourselves in this, it changes our energy signature and how we are in the world and our tribes and the people who listen to us. It increases our power and our influence. It increases the freedom that we not only give permission for and represent, we also increase the freedom that other people around us have, because we are a living declaration of that freedom. Because we've changed our fundamental languaging. And there's another free course where I talk about languaging and the importance of it. You get to language your reality. And this languaging is a languaging of power and empowerment of ourselves and others. So what I'm hoping out of this video, out of these videos, out of the other videos that we offer, the free courses that we have on the site, what it is that we're doing with these, what I'm hoping is that there's a whole series of worlds, multiple worlds that open up for you because you shift your languaging, because you change your lenses. And I'm hoping that we'll open up those lenses for you here on Planet JWoww. And this is just one moment of doing that. This free course is an example of that. So thank you for being on this ride with me from gender roles to human relationships, a choreography of power and equality. Thank you for showing up on Planet JWoww and exploring it. Please share this video. Please share the other videos. Please come back often. We're going to be bringing more and more courses, stuff from me, stuff from other people, as the website is growing continuously forever, so that there's always a place for you to explore new ways to get more power and more freedom for your life and for the lives of the people around you. I'm JWoww, and this is Planet JWoww, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take good care. Have a great day.